Welcome to the Author's Lighthouse podcast, helping writers and emerging authors navigate the choppy waters of publishing. I'm your host, Karen Schober, indie author and author consultant. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Author's Lighthouse. Let's jump right into today's topic of book covers. Book cover is a necessary part of creating your files for production for print, ebook, and even audiobooks. Today, we're going to talk about the elements of a book cover. While each genre has its own trends, it is important to do your own research, but also listen to the experts who specialize in creating covers that look professional and grab the readers. We say to not judge a book by its cover, but that's exactly what happens with book covers. You only have a second to grab the reader's attention. So catching the reader's attention should be something that is considered right off the bat. A book cover is the first thing a reader sees when browsing for books, be it in real life or online. A well-designed cover can grab the reader's attention and entice them to learn more about the book. It should quickly let the reader know about the basics of what the book is about, even before they read the title. You want to convey the genre, tone, and themes of the book. A book cover can give a reader a sense of what to expect from the book in terms of the genre, tone, and themes of the cover. For example, a romance novel cover might feature images of a couple embracing, while a horror novel might create features that are dark and ominous. You want to influence the reader's perception with the cover. A book cover can shape the reader's expectations of the book and affect their decision to purchase it or not. A poorly designed or misleading cover can turn readers off instantly, while a well-designed cover can make a book appear more professional and appealing. When getting a book up on Amazon, they have a cover wizard that can help you make your cover on their site. I've used it to help align things on the cover, but I don't normally recommend using that because, one, there's no way to get the print files off of the site. You cannot take them to another publisher to use the cover there. That aside, they have stock images that the author can use and then insert their own text. You can also change the font up a little bit. Technically, there's nothing wrong with this, and it is a free service. But they don't look as professional as those that would be designed by a designer. A few years ago, I was at a book festival, and I could identify which books were designed using the wizard and which weren't. And because I knew that this author or authors did not invest professionally in a designed cover, I actually was concerned with the quality of the content. So a book cover can also help establish an author's brand and create recognition among readers. Consistent design elements across a series of books can help readers identify the author and their work. This can work for the author's brand and especially for a book series. It lets the reader know that it's a book from a brand that is familiar to them and therefore can increase the likelihood of the reader buying that book. Overall, a book cover is an essential marketing tool for the authors and can significantly impact a book's success. So what are the elements of a book cover, a good book cover? So it is the combination, or rather the right combination of color, fonts, images, and layout that can make a book cover stand out among a sea of other books, drawing the reader's eye and attention. Even if you are using a designer, I highly recommend going to your bookstore or library and look at the books in your genre. Not for what you want to read, but you want to look at what the other covers look like. Identify what trends are going on and what you like and don't like. And being able to give the designer this kind of information will help them get an idea of what you are looking for and what you are not. Also, you want your book to be competitive. Yes, you want it to stand out, but at the same time, you want it to stand out for the right reasons. So now we're going to convey the book's content. The element of the book cover should reflect the content of the book. And this also includes its genre, tone, and themes. For example, a romance cover, my favorite, might use pastel colors and cursive fonts or brush fonts to create a romantic and dreamy feel, while a thriller novel cover might use bold and dark colors to create a sense of tension or danger. You want to appeal to the target audience. Again, this is the colors, fonts, images, and the layout of the book cover. And it should be chosen with the target audience in mind. A cover that appeals to one audience may not appeal to the other. You want to create a cover for your target audience. So it's important to understand who the book is intended for and what appeals to them. And then this also goes into the branding. All these aspects of the book cover can help establish an author's brand and create recognition among the readers. Consistent design elements across a series of books can help identify the author and their work. And this can be done with font, colors, formatting, or any other elements of the book cover. We can all identify one of those books in the Dummies series from a distance, and that is from consistent branding and design. Overall, choosing the right color, fonts, images, and layout is critical to creating a book cover that will attract the right readers, accurately reflect the book's content, and appeal to the target audience. It is essential to work with the designer or use design resources to ensure that the cover design is both effective and visually appealing. A book cover should reflect the book's content and appeal to that target audience. You want to research your target audience. Before designing a book cover, it is important to understand who the target audience is and what they are looking for. This can include demographic information such as age and gender, as well as interests and preferences related to the book's genre and theme. Knowing your ideal reader, as we discussed in episode 2, will help identify this and get you ahead of the game. It is a useful tool throughout the production and marketing of your book. You want to consider the genre. The book cover should reflect the genre of the book, whether it's romance, mystery, sci-fi, or anything else. You want to do this by using appropriate imagery, typography, which is font, and the color schemes that are commonly associated with that genre. While fonts are plentiful, make sure that you don't use one that is copyrighted property like the iconic Disney font. When I was researching a nonfiction book, I went to the local Barnes & Noble and saw that all the books in that section were either red, white, yellow, or black. Sometimes with a picture, sometimes not. It was very interesting to sit back and look at these books with a critical eye and not looking at the content, but looking at the design elements. Now, with all this, you do want to keep and make sure that the book cover reflects the themes of the book. For example, a book that deals with love and relationships, the cover might have a couple or a romantic setting or something romantic in general. If the book deals with suspense and danger, it should not look like a lovey-dovey book. And you want to use the right typography or font on the cover to reflect the genre and tone. It's one more element that should not be missed. A horror novel might have bold or jagged typography, while a romance novel would have cursive, script, or brush font. Some of my favorites. And then before you finalize your book cover design, I do recommend getting the feedback from potential readers or members of the target audience, plus friends and family. This can provide valuable insights to what is appealing and effective in the design and can help ensure that the book cover is accurately designed to reflect the content of the book and appeal to the target audience. There are Facebook groups that help get opinions on book covers, or you can send it out in a newsletter to your readers for them to give you feedback and get their opinions. I've posted 2 covers on social media and got friends and family's responses, even some people I didn't know. Just testing color choices. It could be the same design, but one has a blue background and one has a purple background. And getting their opinion can really help you make or break the cover. And their opinions can help you make an informed decision on which one to use. Remember, if you change your cover, it is technically a new book in the eyes of the ISBN, which can either help or hurt your marketing efforts. So keep that in mind as well. You want to make that decision hopefully right the first time, but if you do a second edition or a revised, then maybe try out a new cover. But it will still be a new ISBN. Overall, a book should accurately reflect the book's content and appeal to the target audience in order to effectively attract readers and represent the book's genre, theme, and tone. So how do you design a book cover? Well, you have 2 choices: hire a professional or do it yourself. It's not that simple. So there's many levels. If you hire a professional, you can have the designer ensure that the book cover is of high quality and effectively represents the book's content and target audience. Professional designers have the expertise and experience to create a visually appealing and effective cover design. However, this option can be expensive and authors will need to budget accordingly. You want to look at examples of covers that the designer has already created, also to make sure that their style fits with your vision and your preferences, and make sure that that designer works in your genre regularly. This way, there's a higher chance that the designer is up to date with the trends and styles within the genre. Now, if you don't want to hire a professional designer, you can use a book cover design service. Book cover design services usually offer pre-made designs or custom designs created by designers for a lower cost than hiring a freelancer. This option can be a good choice for authors on a budget or for those who are unsure about their design. However, it is important to research different providers and ensure that the designs are of high quality and match the author's vision for the book cover. There is also a chance that others have chosen that cover that you have. It is really disappointing to find another book with your cover on it, and this can lead to brand confusion. So if you create the cover yourself, authors who have design skills and experience may choose to create the book cover themselves. This option can be very cost-effective and allows the author to have full control over the design. However, authors who are not experienced in design may struggle to create a high-quality and effective book cover. Being able to use professional programs intended for cover design like Photoshop, InDesign, and Canva are all options to use and should be used. Word should never be used to design a cover. Let me say that again because it is so important. Word should never be used to design a cover. It is a word processing software and not intended for images. You will get more headaches from using Word than it is worth, and the quality is not going to be on par. You can use design templates. These are online tools and templates that can help authors create their own book cover without needing advanced design skills. This option usually is very budget-friendly and easy to use, but usually results in a generic or unoriginal design. Remember the Amazon cover wizard? Overall, the option chosen for creating a book cover will depend on the author's budget, design skills, and desired level of control over the design. It is important to choose a high quality and effective design, as the book cover is an important marketing tool that can significantly affect the success of the book. Working with a designer can be a great way to create a high quality and effective book cover. But here are some tips on working with the designer. First, you want to find a designer whose style matches your vision. Before hiring a designer, it is important to find out whose style matches your vision for the book cover. Look at their portfolio and ask for references to ensure that they have the experience creating book covers and can design ones that reflect your vision. Also, ask them about their schedule. Some sought-after cover designers are booked out months or even years in advance. And make sure that your timeline works with the designer's availability. You want to provide explicit instructions and communicate your vision without micromanaging. When working with a designer, you need to provide clear instructions and communicate your vision for the book cover. You want to be specific on what you want the cover to convey, including the book's genre, tone, and themes. The chances of the designer reading your book is very low. They need to get right to it. You want to share examples of book covers that you like and don't like to help the designer understand your preferences. But you want to be open to the designer's suggestions. While it is important to communicate your vision, it is also important to be open to the designer's suggestions. A good designer will have the expertise and experience create a design that is awesome and represents your book. Be open to their suggestions and feedback, but also clear on what you want to achieve with the design. And you want to provide feedback constructively. After receiving the initial design, it is important to provide feedback constructively. Be specific about what you like and don't like about the design, and provide clear instructions on what changes you want to see. Be respectful and open to the designer's suggestions for improving the design. They are professionals here, and this is their job. You want to set clear deadlines and expectations. When working with a designer, it is important to set clear deadlines and expectations for the projects. Be sure that both parties, that's you and the designer, understand the timeline and what is expected in terms of revisions and final deliverables. Those are the digital files. I recommend having the expectations, a timeline, deliverables, and other details like the number of revisions clearly defined and written out, preferably in a contract. Overall, working with a designer can be a collaborative and rewarding process, resulting in a high quality and effective book cover. It is important to find a designer whose style matches your vision. Communicate your vision clearly and be open to suggestions, provide feedback constructively, and set clear deadlines and expectations. Now, a book cover is an essential marketing tool for authors that can significantly affect the success of their book. A good book cover should accurately reflect the book's content and appeal to the target audience. It should also be visually appealing with the right colors, fonts, images, and layout. And a good book cover should grab the reader's attention and make them want to pick it up and read it. Authors can create a good book cover by hiring a professional designer, using cover design services, creating the covers themselves, or using design templates. When working with a designer, authors should communicate their vision clearly, be open to suggestions, and provide feedback constructively. A good book cover should effectively represent the book's content and appeal to the target audience, be visually appealing, and make that reader want to pick up the book and read it. And that is elements of a book cover. The show is brought to you by my book, Hollywood Hearts, The Second Act, now up on Amazon and in Kindle Unlimited. Beth Edwards didn't think her book would be anything more than scribblings in a notebook. Never in her wildest dreams would she have thought that her book would become a blockbuster success and a Hollywood came calling. Life would never be the same for Beth and her young family as they headed to Hollywood to oversee production. Robert Cobb, the seasoned actor, had wanted to be involved in the project since he had seen Beth on TV promoting her book. He was amazed at who Beth was. As their characters fall for each other on the screen, they are both confused with what they are feeling off screen. Will true love happen when the director calls out, "Cut, that's a wrap"? You like behind the scenes of Hollywood and the romance of meeting and falling for one of your TV crushes, Hollywood Hearts, the second act, a contemporary feel-good romance, will capture your heart. Find it on Amazon, a Kindle Unlimited exclusive. The word of the week. This week's word is imprint. An imprint is a name of a publisher's specific line of books. For example, Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series is published by Hyperion. They are an imprint of Disney. Hyperion is Disney's imprint for young adult or YA books. And that's what an imprint is. In news this week, we have two short articles. First of all, there are reports that Wattpad is laying off 15% of their workforce. Wattpad is a platform for authors to post their works free of charge and get feedback from readers. This is interesting since in 2019, they announced their efforts to move forward into venturing into print publishing besides their online platform. While this was announced pre-pandemic, and so much has changed since then, it'll be interesting to see how this develops with the cut in workforce, or if they're looking to join forces with a print partner instead. And then second, going along with print, Draft to Digital has announced that they are offering print services to all users in a print-on-demand model with additional services for authors to make the publishing process smoother and increase the overall quality of production for indie works and small presses. With these additional services, it was not indicated how much these services would be, but it looks like they are positioning themselves to be a one-stop shop for their clients for both print and ebook. I have not used their design services yet, but I do use them for ebook distribution for my books that are wide. I'm looking forward to knowing more about what they will be offering and the costs associated with them. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. And I think that Draft to Digital is a great company that should be producing some very helpful services for authors that need them. And now for my weekly update. It has been a weird week with me. I've got a lot of things going on, and I am still struggling to write fiction, but nonfiction seems to be a lot easier for me right now. I've been thinking about hopping genres, but before I can do that, I have to get some other pieces out there. Writing and then producing the work is fun for me, but this block has not been fun. I'll get through it, but for now, I need to work with it. I need to work through it and make it happen. I did get a new book on writing. I love getting craft books, and I will let you know what is good and what is not. I just started reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel. And so far, I've been enjoying it. I'm very, very early into this book. But I will let you know what my full review is once I finish it. It came highly recommended to me by several people and my writing group. It has been on my wish list for over a year, and I finally pulled the trigger and got it. It's easier to read a craft book now that I have all my schoolwork done and I don't have any more reading assignments. So I'm looking forward to reading that and letting you know what I think about it. It is a very popular book. Let's see if this one strikes a chord with me, and we'll go from there. I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and I'll see you back here next week. Have a good one.
This was The Author's Lighthouse, a Fireball Studio production. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Author's Lighthouse. And if you like the show, leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform. It really helps get the show discovered. And also don't forget to subscribe. If you have a topic you would like to suggest for a future episode, email it to Karen@theauthorslighthouse.com. If you liked this episode and want to hear more, please support the show at patreon.com/authorslighthouse. That's patreon.com/authorslighthouse. Every bit helps support the show. This was The Author's Lighthouse, a Fireball Studio production. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Author's Lighthouse and on Twitter at AuthorsLH. And if you like the show, subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps get the show discovered. If you have a topic you would like to suggest for a future episode, email it to Karen@theauthorslighthouse.com. That's KAREN @theauthorslighthouse.com. And if you really like this story and want to help more, please support the show at patreon.com/authorslighthouse. That's patreon.com/authorslighthouse. Every little bit helps support the show, and thank you.